Good afternoon, ADRP fans. Brett Hoare here, live to you on a Monday evening, just after 6. As promised, we have Frank Marchese on the line with us from Dandy Engines, and we're going to have a little chat with him tonight. G'day, Frank. How you going?
How are you, Brett? Thank you for putting me on here.
Mate, we're just so glad you were available. I know how busy you are, jet setting around the world, tuning to the stars. I would be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to first talk to you about how things went over at Lights Out 8, what promoted you to go there in the first place, and then just give us a little bit of insight as to what it was like to be in that mad circus for 6 days.
It's got to be one of the craziest places to go in the world, and as they call it, it's the Super Bowl of small tyre racing. What prompted me to go there was basically our close relationship with Eric and the guys at Proline. Basically, they invited me to come along in 2014, and I haven't looked back since. Now I cannot go. It's a must to go. You just can't miss out.
So this trip was your 4 flights out?
Well, there's 2 per year, so I've been since September 2014. I've lost count. I think it must be like the 5th or 6th one I've been to. So.
Okay. So they both called Lights Out 8, excuse me, or is the other one Redemption or whatever it's called?
Well, it calls one called the February version is Lights Out. And the reason why it calls it Lights Out originally, it's nothing to do with the time boards or anything. It's got to do with this race is so big. It's the night the lights went out in Georgia. So okay. That's where the name the lights out. And No Mercy is in the end of September, early October, which is their warmer weather. Yeah, the February is a lot colder weather, yet it's packed. It's like jam-packed stands, gates. It's even like to get there, you're going to get there like 7 o'clock in the morning to get through the gates properly.
Yeah, we were conversing a little with Wes Buck and a few of the other guys over there, watching your feed and Alan's feed, everyone else's. It seemed that this year Duck opened too early, got in everybody. No one was really stressed about me out the year.
Sorry, mate, you're freezing up.
Yeah, we've got a bad
you're frozen.
Line here. Can you hear me now?
Try that one again. Yeah, you're still freezing. It's like slow motion.
Okay. I was just suggesting that Duck had it organised very well this year, opening the gates early. Everybody got in and got to see what was going on.
Yeah. No, each year he perfects it, and it shows. Each year that I go, it's just better again and again and again. Like the guy is determined to make it the best drag racing show there is. If you haven't been, you must get you must get you must. It's a must for every drag racer.
Okay. Well, I think most drag racers would love to go. I mean, we saw the atmosphere, we saw the crowd on the start line. They were hit by a tornado only a month or so out earlier, and they had to rally to get it done. The numbers these Radial cars are punching out, mate, it's like we were seeing sub 1 second 60 foots out of a Radial car.
Yeah, well, even the slower classes still had one flat in the 60 foot on 275s. You know, a friend of mine, Scotty G, with a nitrous car, like in the heat of the day, they were going 100 in the 60 foot. So it's crazy.
Now we've spoken to a few Radial racers lately. We caught up with Pazzo last week. We spoke with the man himself, Keith Haney. This Radial thing is taking over the world if we're not careful.
I believe it's the new generation. Like, it's untapped territory. Everyone wants to see how fast we can go on a radial. I suppose you can have 1,000 horsepower or you can have 5,000 horsepower. It's not like the old days where we had so much grip that we had not enough power to go fast enough, and we always dreamt about going faster. Well, now you've got that much power. You're trying to harness it, every step of the way down the track, and that's where it makes it more interesting, because you've got not just a good driver, but you've got tuners involved, and it becomes more of a team effort than once upon a time. You had an engine, you had a massive tyre, lightweight cars, and you could go as fast as you could with no traction problems.
Okay.
Wheelie bars, we'd have wheelie bars, control wheel stands, and blah, blah, blah. Now, you've got everything going against you. No wheelie bars, a radial tyre, a lot smaller tyre than we've ever had in the past. And then some of the guys throw in, a standard suspension.
Now you talk about
we'd see 380s out of a standard suspension.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you're talking about, and I'll put my old school drag racer hat on here for a sec, so don't throw rocks at me. But you're talking about less tyre, less grip, all the rest of it. Man, how many litres of glue did they stick to that track? Every time I turned it on, they were spraying the track.
Gotta love that place just for that reason. That, they would spray the track. It almost seemed like they sprayed it every hour.
Yeah.
And then when the rubber got too thick on the start line, out comes the heat gun and the scraper, and they scraped it back. Put it wherever it needed to be placed, rub the track again, and you're off and racing. If you weren't careful, if you weren't thinking when you walked on that track, you were going to fall flat on your bum. And I saw about 5 people do it. That should be used to that kind of, that kind of racing or that kind of track surface.
Okay. So that's the track surface. Now, there's been a little bit of smack talk after the event. The Pro Mod chassis cars versus the standard wheelbase cars. We saw 2 big hitters in obviously Keith Haney and Stevie Fast not make the final. They were out early, and we saw a standard wheelbase car take home the money. Where's the on the ground thoughts about that over there?
Look, it's our natural instincts in drag racing to see the top qualifier come out and run the fastest time and believe that 90% chance he's going to be there at the end. It doesn't work like that. At lights out, you ain't a winner until you're holding that cup or that trophy or the sword, whatever he gives out, at the end of it. I've been there that many times, and I've seen, it was only 2 years ago, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago I was there, 2-3 races back, sorry. I watched the preparation of Keith Berry's car make a switch from an LS engine to a new small block combination, which was a 4.5-inch bore space. So they revamped the whole car in less than 3 weeks prior to the race. Took the car to the race meeting, brand new combination, never made a pass in this combination, and went on, didn't even qualify in the top, I don't believe he qualified even in the top 10. Still went on to win the $50,000 cash. And he did it against Stevie Fast, one of the best radial racers there is. So you cannot predict the winner until they're holding that cash. That's what I love about it.
That makes it for a promotable event, that's for sure. I mean, he's the king of promoters at the moment, there's no doubt. Donald loves using the social media. He loves getting on there and talking smack. He and Haney and Berry. I think you've even got Wes Buck dragged into it a bit lately, these guys. So it's
look,
it's the new world.
Makes it interesting. it definitely makes it more interesting.
All right. Now, you've been home a couple of days. We saw you out at Calder on the weekend tuning Dom Luppino's car. Talk to us a little bit about what's happening there and how that's transpired.
Well, I made it to Sydney on Friday, so I snuck a Sydney race in for the power cruise, and then flew back to Melbourne Saturday morning. Look, we've been doing, we're pretty happy with Dominic's car. We've just been finding our way. Basically, Calder is probably would have to be one of the trickiest radial tracks. And look, Dominic's pretty happy with the results. He went 2 579s to the 1,000 foot. We're just going to get used to those numbers.
Yep.
I think by accident the time boards were left on that last one, and he pretty much went like a 690, 699 at 225. So we're pretty happy with that.
Okay.
You know, we didn't redo the 4-link, or we didn't redo the shockers to suit the track. We pretty much just power managed the tyre.
All right. Now, a lot of the people that are on tonight are going to be in your world and races and understand, but hopefully we've got some new people out there who are a little bit like, power managed. What's this guy on about? Now, Dom's car is one of the most technologically complex cars I've seen for a while. Talk us, without trade secrets, give us a little insight as to, you talk about power management. So we're talking about MSD ignition retards, we're talking about boost control. What are we talking?
It's a combination of all of them. With the fuel tech, we basically use, it's a form of traction control, but it's not a traction control that locks the tyre 100%. If you don't set it correctly, it still will not work correctly, like anything. It's a form of arc module, which is the same as what the MSD calls as an arc module.
Yeah.
And it allows you to control the tyre via timing. The tyre speed sees more speed than it should. The MSD or the fuel tech will knock back the timing, pulling power out. And if anyone watched Dominic's car on the weekend, they probably would have heard it pop and bang when it leaves, and it almost sounds like it's misfiring.
Yeah.
But that's basically what the traction control is. My white car did the same thing at King of the Street back in I think it was like 2 years ago at Heathcote. It just sounds like it's misfiring the whole way down, but that's basically what we do: is retard timing and control timing to control tyre speed.
Okay, all right. Thank you for that insight. Now, you've opened the gate to the white car. It would be unlike me to not throw the guest under the bus at least once. Mate, the photos you posted of that block, what the hell?
Oh, look, you know, for anyone that looked at the pictures closely, that's a prime example of people basically going, look, I believe, I can't prove this, but you know, the block looked like it was casted somewhere to a point where it shouldn't have been casted. Like, it should have been a US casted block, and it doesn't look like it was that. And basically, what it's done is a 35 pound of boost. Now, to some people that might seem like that 35 pound for the last 12 months, and I'm like, I'm trying to go higher. And my plans that weekend that we were racing the car, when it went 740, was to try and see if we could reach 45, 50 pound. But after 5 passes of 35 pound, to do that to the block was devastating. It basically pushed the crankshaft off the block.
Yeah.
And if you look at the casting, I mean, it speaks for itself. It's full of sand. It's a very poor casting. And if I did something wrong as a tuner, hey, I'd put my hand up and say, listen, I goofed up. This is what I've done wrong. But to see each main bearing cap rip itself off the block, and the block splits into about 10 different positions, it's quite, it's quite obvious that the casting was not good enough.
All right.
So, And I'm going to defend myself. I'm going to defend myself for the guys that are going, oh yeah, that's crap, that's crap. Well, if Steve Bazina's car wouldn't have gone 203 mile an hour and still had the same engine.
Okay, cool. All right, we'll get away from that. All right, so what's next on your agenda? I mean, you're doing some work with Dom. Your white cars had a little bit of a hiccup. You've just picked up Supercharged Outlaws Andrew Nationals with Spud Racing. What's Frank's next goal? Where are you guys? What's hot on the street at the moment?
Look, the hot goss on the street at the moment. We're looking forward to seeing Joe Gauci from Profab Motorsports team up with Glenn Foster, which is the old Dominic Luppino Mustang. They've basically gone from Pro Street and they're going to be switching that car to Radial for this year, running the APSA rounds and the KENDA rounds in Queensland.
Yep.
So there's that. We have a new car coming from the States. A new guy is coming into the mix, Shaun Hale, who's purchased Fletcher Cox Blue Mustang, which is a radial car from like one of the Proline radial cars. That's gone I think it's got the best of a 386, around 212 mile an hour. So that should land hopefully first week of March.
Okay.
So we're really looking forward to that.
So we're talking predominantly all turbo cars at the moment that you're talking about. There was a lot of discussion after Lights Out 8 in the States about handicaps, and I think someone put up a little bit of a sort of parallel of a 2,550 pound car with a blower versus a 2,550 pound car with a 94 mil turbo, but if he goes up to the next turbo size, it had to weigh 3,000 pounds. How do blower cars go with that initial torque out of the hole on such a little radial?
Look, once again, power management. That's what it comes down to. Who's best at power management, chassis combinations. Look, it's all coming down to tuning of suspension, power management, and that's what's making it work. Yes, they have a massive weight break between turbo cars and blower cars because it's a given that a turbo car will always make more power. To make it fair, they're going to have to do something like 500 pound, I think, difference in weight break to make them even. It's no different in NHRA Pro Mod. The turbo cars are capped at 38 pound of boost. Back in the day when they first brought those turbo cars out in NHRA, they were allowed to run 53 pound of boost. Now they're down to 38 pound of boost. Yet they still manage to all run within the same window of each other.
Okay.
So,
right. So we talk about turbo cars going to make
the blower cars have, there is can make power, but they can't make downforce early in the pass. Whereas a blower car, the whole purpose of having zoomies and the rest of it is they can make 600 pounds of pressure on the start line before they even leave the start line, where a turbo car can never do that. It doesn't matter how much they hit the two-step. So their ET will always be theoretically better because they can achieve those lower 60-foot times in a blower car.
Okay. You talk about lower.
So it's a I'm saying.
These guys were going sub ones as it was. They were like 970s, 980s with a turbo car.
They're fast, but the blower cars can go faster in the 60. There's no hiding that.
All right. Now you talk about turbo cars making ridiculous power. You've got your finger on the pulse. You will have seen on the other drag racing capital of the world, a Lexus go 544 at 276 or 8.
Well, I'm pretty sure that was an early lift and still went that fast. We all know that car's going 277 already. And, you know, like with some inside information, I've seen the graph and that was an early lift, and it still went 273 at a 544. So there's no doubt you will see bigger numbers from that car.
And
those guys are killing.
They made the claim that it was PDRA Pro Boost legal.
If they say it, it would be. It would be, because there would be people protesting it.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we exhausted, no pun intended, every turbo question I've got for you. I don't think we've had a lot of questions. There's been a lot of people agreeing with a lot of what you've been saying. I'm just checking with Nicole.
Somebody, Josh, wanted to know, do curls get the girls?
It's
always a question about...
Obviously, Josh has seen your and my photos of you on the weekend, and he wants to know, it's obviously true that the curls get the girls, mate.
I don't think so, mate. I don't think so. I think I'm just trying a little too hard.
Well, if that's the best question we've got, I think it might be a good time to pull the pin and call it a day with you. Mate, thank you so much for your time. I know that you've been, no stress, but jet setting around the world. You've been back home. You've been smashing it out. You've no doubt got a little bit of work behind you there. You guys have certainly seem to be bringing a lot of the engines to the front of this field as well as other fields. So very best of luck with Dandy Engines, everything that you guys are bringing forward. And we'd take our hat off to you in the ADRP way of, we want to bring drag racing to the new generation, the cell phone generation. You're very much part of that with the way you approach it. And hopefully we can make drag racing great again in this country as well.
Thank you, Brett. Thank you, Nicole. It's been great being on here and having a chance to have a chat.
Awesome, mate. We will see you at a track sometime soon.
Thank you, guys. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys, there you go. We've got Frank Marchese. He's talked to us about drag racing all over the world in our own backyard. Dandy Engines having a golden run at the moment. So if you want any information, hit up his Facebook page. We'll be sharing the live across there, or he'll be sharing the live across there later today. And we just thank you for your time, supporting ADRP, supporting drag racing, and let's make drag racing great again. Till next time, guys. Ciao.